14. War. At some point in human history, war will be eradicated, either due to technology, a sufficiently enlightened and advanced society,
Alright, so I
or
think...
a race of space hippies who come along and put flowers in our plasma rifles. This utopian civilization is obviously not going to occur for millennia, but war as we know it, that's already an outdated concept. When we think of conflict today, we consider the brutal trench warfare of the First World War and the decades of conflict in Vietnam, Iraq, and Afghanistan. We think of millions of human boots on the ground, man-operated vehicles, and humans taking the lead in orchestrating missions designed to make tiny gains in land and infrastructure. But all of that is about to change, and we'll see such wars as archaic and foolish, because the next major conflict is likely to be extremely fast and extremely lethal. Albert Einstein predicted this with his famous quote, "I know not with what weapons World War III will be fought, but World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones." Now the problem with this statement is that it simply hasn't come true. Will we look back at warfare today as old-fashioned, but in a good way? How will war change when you can send a squadron of hyper-fast lethal killing machines to wipe out your enemy's forces? Will we target drone operators or commanders rather than scores of infantry soldiers? Would we feel okay with a swarm of tiny nanobots reducing a whole army of humans to a fine pink mist? At what point will human combatants become obsolete? And how will we cope when our all-powerful killing machines make a mistake? Especially if it was a mistake the machines let happen. 13. Pooping. Today, obviously, we're far too classy for that, using scrunched up recycled paper to staunch our mess away. But will future toilet historians see our use of the toilet as being as barbaric as the butt cloth? Maybe. So how will we do it? Hopefully it won't involve the 3 seashells from Demolition Man. That sounds kind of pinchy. We've had all sorts of devices pitched to us as the future of human toilet time, from vacuums and water jets through since the 1930s with something called the Flynn effect, which used IQ tests to measure the intelligence of a population over a period of time. Scores in these tests have risen consistently in developed nations since they began, leading many to believe that thanks to our increasing efforts in education, every generation has been getting smarter than their parents. Inevitably, if this continued, it would lead future generations being intellectually superior to us. But this might not actually be the case, as for some reason, humans are getting dumber. IQ scores in developed countries have either stalled or decreased slightly, and the reasons for this are not yet known. They could be indicative that, you know what?